and Trekkers. Welcome to this amazing Star Trek podcast on Trek Tuesday. I am your host Arinda, and together with my co-host Amanda Hopper, we recap every 2 weeks an episode of Star Trek TNG. All the episodes will be recapped and chronically following. We will approach each episode with a humor and a feminine look. Today we recap the episode The Outrageous Okona. Alright guys, let's call Amanda again. Hello Amanda.
Well, hello.
How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Last night, like you saw on my Twitter page, that a store in this village of Salisbury burnt down, but I'm sure they're going to rebuild. It was called the Green Pig. So yeah, it got burnt last night.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, it's not a great thing, but they were well known in the village and throughout Moncton and Petty.
Well, today we have it's like a true storyline in this episode. Of course, you got Okona, who was a troublemaker. And of course we have, I think, the Data side story of he wants to make a joke.
Yeah.
The Enterprise were in a system that officially is not Starfleet, and there was some kind of a twin planet, and this planet has some kind of agreement to trade, etc., but they are very on edge, and there has to be happening some little small things, and it will be war. So when they are on the bridge, and there was a little talk about that the ships they've encountered were they were having lasers, but that was no match for the Enterprise. So they encounter firstly Captain Okona, and he's just a character between I always say he is like Harry Mudd, but then with a good heart.
But I don't know if you noticed, but you know who he looked like from an animated movie? Flynn Rider from Rapunzel. Okay. He looked like Flynn Rider.
Yeah. Now you're seeing it.
I noticed when I watched it again today, I'm like, why does he look like Flynn Rider? He has that stare, he has that look, and his hair matches in almost the same way he dresses almost. Minus the weaponry.
Talking about hair, did you see how high Wesley Crusher's hair was? It's like really like the 90s, because I remember I did my hair like that as too in the 90s.
Oh, the 90s hair. Yes. 90s hair. I had some strange hairdos in the 90s. I had a perm in the 90s.
That was the first thing what I noticed. And there was a funny moment. There was a moment when Worf had to open hailing frequencies and close them a lot of time in a period amount the time of like 15 minutes or something. I really got some homesick of Tasha saying that, because Tasha had something, I think she had a beautiful sound to it, almost like that of Uhura.
Yeah, her voice is more calm and sensual type thing. Worf's, on the other hand, is a bit gruff, like a warrior's gruff.
Yeah, a little bit aggressive in a way, and that was the funny part too in this episode when Okona went beamed over, and he saw, the first thing he noticed that there was a female who works there on, and then when he beamed over, he saw Worf, and he made the joke, "Oh, a Klingon on board. As a security guard, weren't there no more wars to fight?"
Yeah. I can't remember. Did Worf growl at him or something?
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Yeah.
Okay, he did growl at him. I thought I heard something like that.
He didn't growl at him, but it was more like Okona was, well, teasing him or want to dare him in a fight, you know?
Yeah, like egging him on.
Yeah, and then he was hitting on the transporter crew member.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, dude, you are so slick. And it was like, okay, he act like Harry Mudd. Meanwhile, on the bridge, Captain Picard asked Counselor Troy what she thinks of Okona. And she said, well, he's just some kind of a rogue, but he has a good heart. And what I really didn't like is the lipstick she was wearing. It was really bright. Red bright.
Yeah, was it like a red? Bright red?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. She wears lipstick that's like a lighter shade usually. But this episode her lipstick was like red.
I didn't like it because it was too much in a way, and maybe they did that because she wore a red outfit, but I didn't like it. It was like too much, and it was too red, too bright for her skin.
Too over the top, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe they just want to match her lipstick with her dress, maybe. I don't know.
Well, it wasn't.
Who knows?
It was the outfit she were wearing was like a dark red instead of a bright red or whatever, and I just didn't like the lipstick she was wearing.
Oh.
It was odd.
And then when Deanna said that he's a rogue, a cad, but not dangerous type, Data's like a rogue, and he's like, oh, that's cat, that's rapskillion. And he starts listing all this stuff off, and Deanna's like, yes, Data. You can hear her in the background saying that.
And there was a little moment before this when Okona beamed over. He threw more or less that thing what he needed to be repaired to Wesley, and he called Wesley Commander Data. And
I'm not Commander Data. He is.
Yeah, and it was also like, it was very funny, and even Wesley said, well, I'm not Commander Data, I'm just an acting ensign. And I had the feeling that Okona was using his charm to get away with it with a lot of things, because later in the episode we also see that he were in a lot of crewmen's personal rooms, and to have a nice encounter to, I was thinking, dude, you're a freaking player. Yeah,
like that. The girl that was doing the transportation room. You find out later that he's going to go see her.
Yeah, and so he made a joke, and they didn't understand that, and so, I was thinking that was the joke of, he said something to Wesley, and he said, now that is, young man, that is using your charm so you can get away with the ladies. And he also said that to Data. And Data said, well, I don't know those feelings, I don't have feelings, I'm an android, I'm a, not a robot, but, then Okona said, well, have you seen nice robots lately? And Data was saying, I'm not a robot, I'm an android. And Okona said, okay, well, we'll see. And Okona said, okay, Data, that was a joke. And Data was looking at him and said, oh, that was a joke. And he faked a laugh. He laughed fakely. And that was really, really, really funny to hear. And
yeah, he had to do like a forced laughter.
Yeah, and in this episode, I really liked this episode in the way of storyline, and it was a good writing, and even including for Data, because Data, this is one of the lessons that he would get of being more human, but also with if he would have a emotion chip, he has to deal with this. So now we are in this engineering, and we see that Jordy is repairing that piece he needs to repair, and Okona was looking over it, and Wesley helped. But in one way, I think Okona was too slick, and there were some moments that I really didn't like him, and that was also when he talked to Jordy in a way. Then we have the next scene, and the next scene is that Okona was very curious about Data, and I got the feeling right now is that Okona was just being that slick and charming because he wanted as much as information he could get. We see Okona wanted to learn Data what humor is, and so Data went to 10 Forward and he talked to Guinan, and Guinan explained a little bit humor in a fantastic and brilliant way. I sent you that little clip to your Twitter, and when she make a genius joke of being, you are a droid and I am a noid. And so
Android humanoid.
Data was saying, oh, did I offend you? But how? So Guinan was saying it again. You are a android and I am annoyed. A humanoid. And it was
took him a couple tries, but he got it.
Yeah, it was like a light bubble moment of being okay, I got it. And that was the point that Data went to the holodeck to get some lessons or experience with jokes and humor. And he had this program of this comedian. And
Jerry Lewis, I think it was?
No, the comedian wanted to try to show him physical jokes or humor. And he did that by showing him Jerry Lewis.
Oh yeah, showing him Jerry Lewis. I just can't remember the name of the guy that was the comedian though.
He is a famous actor, but I can't remember what his name was.
Oh, I forget it. I heard about his name before. I just forget what it is.
Okay, guys, maybe I can get it real quick because before we were starting this, I was looking up the rating of this episode. Outrage.
Just Okona.
Yeah, I got it. His name is Joe Piscopo.
That's it, Joe Piscopo.
Yeah.
I heard the name before and it just slipped my mind. I'm like, the name gets me. I don't remember his name. Now that you mentioned it, that's it. Joe Piscopo.
Yeah, he did, for example, Law and Order,
Oh.
the Pink Panther,
Oh, wow, that's old.
Sidekicks. Oh, geez, really? Billy Joel Keeping the Faith, Saturday Night Live, King Kong in 1976. So, yeah, he did. Oh, he was also in Batman, the animated series.
Oh, that's cool.
So, that is a few things he did. Actually, nice to know. That was very funny. And there was that also little moment that the comedian said, okay, I will go tell you just jokes and see what you can find in them. And so the comedian started telling the jokes. And right away, Dana said, okay, go full speed, I can handle this. And then we see how or what. So then he went back to Guinan and he did those jokes.
Mm.
And it was not funny. And Guinan said, well, this isn't funny and I'm not laughing, you see it. Data was a little bit disappointed in it. And without knowing, he made a joke about, well, I think Guinan said something, oh, well, it maybe can be your timing that the joke isn't there. And in a very innocent answer, Data said, well, my timing is digital. Yeah. So, and that's what's when Guinan had to laugh.
Because that was unintentional humor. He didn't know he was making a joke.
Yeah, and I think that is what's happening to the whole episode with Data. He wanted too much to make comedy or making jokes that it was too forced and it wasn't to laugh off. And when he didn't want to make jokes, he made the jokes without knowing. So then Ken Picard called Data to the bridge. And Data told Guinan, okay, I will be back later. And he touched her arm. And I don't know what your feeling was about that, but I was really feeling again, human reaction.
Yeah. I saw him touch her arm and I'm like, wait a minute, he's showing a bit of human side to him. Humans do that. Androids wouldn't do that. They usually just walk off, but he touched her arm. Maybe it's just something, what do they call that? Some kind of reflection reaction or whatever you call it there. It's just a reflex thing he does, maybe. But no, it's like a bit of human side in him where he touched her arm, and I don't know, but I know she smelled, but I can't be sure if he did or not. All I know is he did touch her arm.
I don't know what was going on with Guinan, but Guinan was very, in that scene, she was very, I don't know, she could feel something. That something was happening, and we not sure what, but so Data went to the bridge, and there was a ship approaching the Enterprise, and the Enterprise was hailing them, but there was no answer. And when they were close to the Enterprise, they were hailing them, and they were threatening the Enterprise to shoot on them because they were in their solar space. And one thing was very, how can I say this? There was another threat before that because they wanted to have Okona because Okona was a criminal to them. And in the end of the episode, well, a little bit more as the episode, half of the episode, we see why the daughter of the captain of that ship was pregnant. And the captain thought that Okona was the father.
No, yeah. He thought that Okona got her pregnant, so he thought, oh, he's the baby daddy of my daughter's baby. That's what he thought.
And he had to do the honorable thing. First the dad.
And to marry her.
But then there was another ship from the other planet. And they also wanted Okona because they thought that Okona had stole one of the jewelries, plant jewelries that was very important. And also they were Captain Picard said, and that was very weird to hear because Captain Picard said, well, put them both on view screen so everybody can see each other and make this a conference call or conference meeting. And that is only a word that we will call nowadays. Picard called for Okona, but he didn't respond. So Picard said, okay, computer, where's Okona? And Okona was in 3 different kind of rooms with crew members. Well, female, of course.
Oh.
And
yeah. Naughty Okona.
So Worf found him, and Okona was engaging something with a female crew member. And Worf said the captain needs you now on the bridge right away. And Okona, the scumbag, wanted to make Captain Picard wait. So he was engaging that more with that lady. And I think he did that on purpose to get a reaction out of Worf.
And he did. I think Worf growled at him.
Okona came on the bridge. And there was some kind of a... I don't want to say aggressive conversation, but there were no points of getting to the point and get to the point of, okay, what is really going on here? So Picard said, okay, we need to do this, we need to solve this. And because he was bound also on Federation law, so it was in one way he couldn't just give Okona to one of them. And Okona said, well, it's okay, I will leave. And I can handle myself. I always have to take care of myself. But Picard said, okay guys, we need to solve this, so let's talk face to face. So join us on the Enterprise. And I don't know if you noticed it, but when Worf was welcoming those 4 people on board, so the father and the son and the daughter and the father, he was very short-worded. And I don't know if it was like frustration for him because Okona pushed his button. Yeah, so Worf brought them to like a conference room, meeting room on the Enterprise, and Picard and Counselor Troy were already there. And hey, isn't this not the first time she wore that red outfit that she's going to wear more often?
I think so.
And isn't that the pre-close before she wear that blue dress?
I thought she wore that blue dress before, I thought.
No. That was always that how can you say it? It was more like a colorful piece she was wearing. It was not the blue one. The blue one is that will be later in, and I think that this one, and I thought the purple one and the red, some kind of a cat suit.
Oh, that purplish cat suit.
That is what she wore most of the time from
Yeah.
season 2. And I thought about season 5 or 6 when they also changed the uniform in like the Deep Space Nine uniforms. Then she wears an official uniform as well. And that's what I always was wondering. Why does she never wear a complete normal uniform?
Yeah, I always wondered that. Because she's like ship's counselor and she gets to wear what she wants. But I also thought, I'm surprised they didn't have her wear a uniform, but they have her in these really nice outfits.
Yeah. And
yeah, that's
maybe
really
they
confusing.
Maybe they were just still looking for the vibe that she need to bring out, and that is just what I like about in the later seasons is that she now really is part of the crew. And there was an episode about Troy of Woman at Warp, and they also debate this because they said, well, the first few seasons, Counselor Troy didn't do much, and in the later seasons, she got more and more action.
Mm.
And you also could see that with the clothes she was wearing and the hair.
Mm. It's true.
So they were
I noticed that in the first couple seasons.
So they were at that in that meeting, and both of the captains were pleading that Okona had to commit them, and who had the more right to get Okona. And then Okona jumped in, and I must say he did that very diplomatic. So he went to the girl and said, well, for the last 6 months I have been bringing you secretly messages to each other, but also smuggle you on my ship so you can have some time together, so you both have the same feelings for each other. So make this right instead of me being dragged into it, and that he had to marry what's her name? Let me
Urena?
look. Where the heck is my... Oh, there.
Her name was Urena or something like that.
Her name is Yanar.
Yanara, that's it, Yanara.
And hey, didn't she play more in Star Trek? Let me take a look, guys. This is something new I would do. But
she reminds me of a character. She reminds me of, I forget the name of the species, but they have those spots that go down their back and shoulders. I think she played one of them. A trill?
Okay.
I think she played one of the trills, maybe. On DS9, she was like really young.
No. Not
like her.
anymore. No, it's only TNG, where she. But she did some very. She did some very nice TV series like Boys Meet World, Home Improvement, Touched by an Angel, Sequest. Yeah, that kind of things. So, yeah. So, at the end, the two lovebirds acknowledged each other's love, and Yanar told the dad, well, I'm carrying his child, and the son was telling dad, Okona didn't steal the jewel. It was my way to give that to Yanar as a engagement wedding present. So I secure myself with her because she's carrying my child.
Hmm.
So, and good, all good. And it was a really big misunderstanding.
Extremely big misunderstanding.
But it's still very. I find it was very weird how they talked to each other and how Okana and eventually the Enterprise was drawn into this.
Because they ended up picking Okana up when his ship broke on him.
Yeah.
They're in the basically, I don't know how you call it, the wrong place at the wrong time type deal. I guess you could word it as. They're there to help him, but they ended up being there at the wrong time. Wrong place, wrong time type thing because of the whole situation. Oh, hiccups.
In one way, Okana abused the whole thing on the Enterprise because he knew that the Enterprise will protect him. And the Enterprise was too strong for both of those ships.
Oh yeah, he did, didn't he? That's true, he did. He used the ship for his own little fun.
Then the next scene is that Okana is on his way. And once again, they made a joke and Data didn't understand. And later on we see Data going back to Guinan, and together with Guinan, he went to the holodeck and to what he had learned and if he could make her laugh. Guinan sat down, Data loaded the program up with the comedian. And the only thing he said, okay, comedian, resume. What was funny in a way. Because the comedian said, oh, Mr. Data, is it just comedian resume instead of, oh, let the guy come back and have an applause or whatever. And Data set some holodeck audience in, and he went to on the podium in a suit. Tuxedo, yeah.
Ooh.
And Data tried the jokes out, and the audience were laughing, but not Guinan. And
no.
They laugh and laugh and laugh, but there was a moment that the audience was already laughing. Meanwhile, he still was telling the joke. And after a few seconds, you saw that he noticed that. So,
because he put his hand up, they'd laugh. He'd do a maneuver, they laugh. He put his thumb up, they laugh. Then it finally clicks into him. Oh, they're programmed to laugh. They're not really laughing with me. They're just programmed to laugh.
Yeah, and I think that is was one of the things he just got, and it was more in his program now of okay, so this is how it works. And I think that is without he having his emotion chip, this is one of the hardest lessons you can give to a android. And it was, once again, it was a very, very human reaction. Data was very disappointed.
And
he
definitely was defeated.
Yeah. So he went to the bridge, sat down, and they were making jokes, and he didn't understand. He didn't laugh. And then they said something, and Data made, once again, from out his innocence, a joke, and everybody laughs. And he was saying, okay, so that's why you're laughing now. So he tried other jokes on them, and that didn't work.
Nope. I think there was one about the joke was something about the nudist colony or something like that. I think that's what the joke was.
Well, guys, that was the end of the episode. Amanda, do you still want to add something?
I like this episode quite a bit. It was actually really good storyline with this one.
Yeah, and I like it too.
Yeah, like Data trying to find the humor. Then you got Okona mixed in with these two planets because they think he got the daughter pregnant, and then they think he stole the jewel of whatever the name of that other group is. No, he didn't do that. He had the jewel, but he didn't steal it. He was supposed to give it to the girl. He just didn't do that yet.
Yeah, and he explained that later as well. And then there was I think this was a very nice episode. So what would you like to rate it?
I think it was your turn to go first this week, I think.
Well, my rating is an 8.
Yeah, I'd say around the same. Around 8. Around an 8-ish, 9-ish. It was a good episode.
Yeah, it was. Well, let me check what the IMDb rating is for this episode, and the rating is a 6.2.
Wow, that's low.
Yeah. But, okay. That is what people think about, but I actually enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was really good.
So, well, guys, I hope you liked this week's episode, and, well, we will see you in 2 weeks. Live long and prosper.
Yeah, see you guys in 2 weeks. Live long and prosper.
Dear listeners, thank you for listening, and join us in 2 weeks for a new episode recap. In the next episode, we will recap the episode Loud as a Whisper. And this episode will also be a video episode. Girls Talking Truck is also to listen, follow and subscribe on Anchor, Google Podcast, Spotify, Amazon Music, or on your favorite podcast app. We will have a Facebook group and YouTube channel. Every 10th episode will be a video episode and live streaming, so you guys can talk live with us and see us when we talk about the episode. If you'd like to comment on the episode or just talk with us about the episode we just recap, you can reach out on the Facebook group and the YouTube channel. I also like to tell you about my 2 other podcasts called Orenda Talks and Orenda's Book Club, Smooth Jazz, Tea and Books. Orenda Talks is a podcast wherein I talk about books, movies, fandoms, and other geek things. On this podcast, I also have an extra episode series in which I will talk about everything Star Trek. You can find Orenda Talks on the YouTube channel or the Facebook group. Orenda's Book Club, Smooth Jazz, Tea and Books is a podcast that will discuss books of all genres, except for thrillers and horrors. I don't like to read those. My perfect picture while reading a book is in front of the fireplace, loads of tea and smooth jazz in the background. If you'd like to discuss with me or us the books we are reading, you can do that on the Facebook group or the YouTube channel. I also like to organize live reading and live book discussion events. So join me, read with me, and discuss with me the books we are reading. We will see you in 2 weeks.